Next on the pop roster, Jake Gyllenhaal finally opens up about his thoughts on Taylor Swift's lyrics to All Too Well.
Well, what are his thoughts? What is he thinking, that Jake?
Well, so after they had broken up back in 2010, that's one of the songs that came out on her new album. And people are thinking that she was, of course, calling him out.
What song? What song was it?
All Too Well.
All Too Well. Okay, that's what it's called.
All Too Well.
Got it. All right.
Yes. And recently he told Esquire magazine that it, quote, it has nothing to do with me. And then he went on to say it is her expression. Artists tap into personal experiences for inspiration, and I don't begrudge anyone that. Now, fans, I guess, have been saying things to him, and he, made some comments about cyberbullying and things like that. And I feel like, it was certainly within his right to do that, because these fans, they go cray-cray.
They do.
For their artists. And if they feel like, he did something to her and she had to break up with him, and then she puts out a song that, has breakup lyrics or whatever, then they want to attack. And I mean, the Bayhive do it to
the Barbs,
the Barbs, all of that. And I think that is a form of cyberbullying.
Sure.
And it's, I mean, they are like just, they just swarm and they pounce. And I don't like it. I don't like cyberbullying.
I don't like it as well. I think that that's the interesting aspect to this story. Like, I if you're going to, maybe not back in 2010, but like at this point, if you're going to date Taylor Swift, then you just have to understand that if it doesn't work, she's probably going to write a song about you. And maybe that's okay. And maybe it's not. He probably didn't know that back in 2010. It's not even verified that that song is about him, although it's strongly suggested that it is.
Yeah.
And, there's some lore around that, and that's interesting. But the fact that once she re-released Red, so this is the Red album, Taylor's version, because she had a skerfuffle with her rights and owning this stuff. So she is releasing her music over again, songs and albums. And so this was released again, and she redid it, and it's now a 10-minute version with a video, and it reignited all of this speculation about Jake Gyllenhaal. And the suggestion would be people went after Jake. Now, he didn't say that. He was very careful not to say that, but he did say there is some personal responsibility for the artist to make sure that their fans are not going around unchecked, making trouble to people. Like K-pop fans are notorious for just being awful and driving people off the internet. And in this, he is correct. And I'm wondering if Taylor Swift said anything about this. I'm wondering if Taylor Swift signaled for her fans, the Swifties, not to do this. It sounds like she hasn't. And if she hasn't, I would agree. That's irresponsible. You hold sway over the consciousnesses of people. Like, people are so obsessed with you, they will do anything to defend you or support you. You know this. And some artists, not saying Taylor necessarily, but some artists use this as a weapon. Oh, you're going to talk about me? I'm sending the Barbs after you. And really wreak havoc on other people. So it's kind of a weapon. And I agree with him. Like, you have a responsibility to make sure they do not do that. Of course, you can't control who drops into Jake Gyllenhaal's DMs and starts
but you can say something. I mean, especially if, I'm sure she's aware that these things are happening, and she could completely just issue a statement, that this reissue, of the album, of the song, has nothing to do with past relationship that was, over 10 years ago. I'm in a different space. I'm just re-releasing the material, back off. Right. Something. But they won't do that because, they, on some level, I feel like maybe they like that sort of thing. Just my feeling.
So that's the question. And that's probably why he's bringing it up. Like, do some of these artists actually enjoy that kind of chaotic, toxic power? And is Taylor Swift one of those people? Because, Taylor Swift had her own issues with Kim and Kanye, right? They recorded her.
Absolutely.
And she changed her story, and she has been a little shady in the past. So the question is, maybe she's one of these artists who likes to send her minions after others. And maybe maybe Jake broke it off with her all those years ago, but she's still just loving the fact that she is able to send some bad energy his way, because how dare you break up with me? If so, that's immature and undeveloped, and you need to get a grip, girl.
Yeah. And, I feel like it just goes to this sort of bubble that these celebrities live in, and social media is one of those bubbles.
And I want to talk about that. We don't, but maybe the next story we'll talk about toxic celebrity. Well, I think most of it is toxic, and it's not necessarily even the fault of the celebrity. I think just the machine around celebrity and fame is hella toxic. But there are things that celebrities can do to detoxify, which Taylor Swift could do. But I do want to talk a little bit more about celebrity, but maybe the next story is the better time to talk about it. So
we'll do that.
Let's
Taylor, if you're sending the people after you,
come on,
stop it.
Karma's a bitch too. Like karma
it is.
comes back around, and you don't want that. You do not.
It is.